Hey guys, my name is Caleb, and this is kind of a ministry opportunity that God has been laying on my heart the last few months. I hope this is an encouragement to you guys to grow in your faith. Hopefully, some of the things that I'll say will challenge you in areas that you need to grow. And hopefully it's also an encouragement to you to be more bold in your faith. That's kind of the main reason why I'm doing it, is to hopefully give you guys more boldness and more of an encouragement to go out and share your faith with people that are around you. We all have things that we feel hinder our ability to share the gospel with people around us, and whether that's our youth, because we feel like we're not old enough yet to really make much of an impact, or maybe we feel like we don't have the personality for it, or in my case, I have a stutter, and that's also something that I felt is a hindrance to being able to share the gospel as well. But hopefully this is an encouragement to you guys that whatever you think in your life is something that is going to hold you back from sharing the gospel, that God is way more powerful than whatever that thing is, and that He is going to use you in spite of whatever it is that you think is going to hold you back. So that's kind of the reason for having this ministry, and I'm just going to do some Bible studies probably once a week whenever I get the chance. My testimony revolves mainly around my stutter, which has probably been one of the most impactful areas of in my walk with Christ. But I was raised in a Christian household, so I was introduced to Christ and was very familiar with the Bible at a very young age. I think I got saved at 6 or 7 years old, and at that time I didn't really grasp the full concept of what a relationship with Jesus really looked like. The eye-opening moment for me occurred whenever I went to stutter school, if I can call it that. My stutter's always been an issue for me. Whenever I was about 10 years old, I went to a school in Virginia to try and get it fixed and learn some tools to help me control it. And it was 8 hours a day for 2 weeks. And I didn't really see the effect it was having while I was there. But whenever we got finished the 2 weeks, they showed me a before and an after video of me answering some very basic questions. And it was very eye-opening. I was amazed at how much I'd improved from where I had been, because it used to be really bad. And even though I still have an issue with it now, it's much more controlled than it was, which I'm very happy about. But it was the first time I'd really witnessed God do a drastic miracle in my life. And I'd become so used to just talking with a stutter all the time that I was amazed at how much more efficiently I could talk. In the time that followed, I was able to better understand what a relationship with Christ truly meant. It's truly a life-changing experience. I understood that He had a purpose and a plan for my life far greater than I could have possibly imagined. Jeremiah 29:11-13 says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all of your heart." I also realized how God had used my stutter, something I didn't think any good would come out of, to show me how good the Lord truly is. Having a relationship with Jesus is an amazing thing that will completely and radically change your life. And being along for the ride to see how He works all things out for good is an incredible opportunity to witness firsthand the Lord's goodness and His mercy. So that's my testimony. And then actually going back to Jeremiah 29:11-13, about a year and a half ago, I was trying to write my testimony for a mission trip, and I couldn't really come up with anything because in my mind I had a lame testimony because I was raised in a Christian household, so it wasn't necessarily like God had radically changed my life in a way that I could think of at the moment. But I went back to what had been probably the most drastic thing that I could remember in my life, and thinking back to that, I was able to realize how much God had used that in my life to grow my faith, and realize that no matter what our testimony might look like, or whether we feel like we have a good testimony or not, our testimony is going to be used by God and is incredible, whatever it is. And and that He will use it because it relates to somebody that's out there. Even if your testimony is being raised in a Christian household, well, guess what? That is a testimony that relates to a lot of other people out there that have also been raised in a Christian home. So God is going to use it regardless to reach whoever He wills it to reach. But whenever I thought back to that about a year and a half ago, and realized, like, once again, how much God had used that to show me how much He's in control and the plan that He has for my life, I once again realized how much plans He had for my life. And then the second half of the passage in Jeremiah also started to come true as well. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. Once again, we're just realizing the plans that God had for my life. I spent a lot more time in prayer, just being like, God, I know that You have me, like you've allowed me to be saved and have used this in my life for some reason. So Lord, like, what is it? Just spending a lot more time in prayer with Him on that, but also just in other areas of my life as well. And then the last part of the verse says, "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all of your heart." This last year and a half, I've been a lot more disciplined to seek after and try and find God with all my heart. And whenever we look and we're seeking after God, and when we're actually chasing after God with our lives, He is there. We will find Him, and just having that relief in the presence of God and being able to trust Him with our future is something that I hope all you guys will have. And if you don't have it yet, hopefully this kind of helps you guys get to that. So I'm going to start with James. I'm going to do a Bible study through James, because there's a lot of wisdom in there on how to better, there we go, I got it out, live our lives as Christians, to be as close of a picture to Christ as possible. And also for me, James is probably one of my favorite books in the Bible. So hopefully we'll convict you guys of some things. And this last, I think February or March, I was reading through James, and I came across the part where he's talking a lot about the tongue, how hard it is to control the tongue. But yet the tongue is an area where a lot of us slip up in our faith a lot. I know that for me, I love to say a lot of wild things that definitely don't point to Christ. But whenever I was reading over this passage and having my stutter fresh on my mind, it allowed me to kind of think more of another area in which my stutter is a blessing. Because I have a stutter, I love how the thing that the name of what I have is like one of the hardest things for me to say. It's great. But thinking about the fact that because I have it, I have to think and process a lot of my words before they come out of my mouth, so that way they can come out in the smoothest way possible, and that way I don't have to stutter. There we go. But being able to process my words before they come out of my mouth, I realize has also spared me a lot of times to keep me from saying some very dumb things that I would have said probably if I hadn't been sort of training myself in order to process things before they come out of my mouth. So being able to see that also as a blessing in that area as well, it was also amazing to see. Just the fact that something that I thought was a curse in my life God used to bless me in my own life, and then has also used it to bless me in order to be a better picture of Christ. I do ask for prayer regarding this ministry. Obviously, whatever God has for this, however big He wants to make it, I will try as hard as I can to give Him all the praise and the glory for it. But I know that my own heart does sometimes tend to struggle with some pride. So I do ask for prayer that in whatever God uses it for, that He would help me to stay humble in it, and that I wouldn't go prideful in what He's doing, because I think growing prideful in the work that God is doing is kind of like one of the worst things that you could do. So I would just take prayer that that doesn't happen, and that I can stay humble and just constantly give Him the praise and the glory for it. So hopefully I will upload my first video in James here soon. So stay tuned for that. See you guys.